people.
I just call you the head geek.
That was also my nickname in high school, so that's funny.
Geek. I think we might be live, Alex. I think we're live. Okay, so hello. Let me hit record. Hold on.
Yes.
Record on the cloud. So today is a really exciting day because we get to hang out with Alex from Geek Out. Hey, Alex.
Hello.
So if you guys have been around the block for a minute with me, like if we've been doing the stroll around the block, you know how I feel about Jane. It's even to the point where when people join our community or Staffless Practice Academy, they think that they have to use Jane in order to fit in. That's how much I love Jane. So there are so many questions that come up when it comes to all of the things to all of the people at any given minute. And I'm just going to give everybody a couple of minutes to log on because I know that we're a few minutes early, but just know that what we're about to go into is brainstorming with Alex from the Geek Out team on how to streamline, get the most out of the experience with Geek Out. I also am going to talk about how I use Jane in my practice, and I will introduce myself in just a minute. I'm just going to post where I need to. Alex, do you want to do a quick intro for yourself?
Oh, wow. Yeah, I'd love to. Well, if you don't know already, my name's Alex. I'm from Jane here. I work on our marketing side, but more so in the tutorials aspect, I'll say. I originally started at Jane during customer support, maybe back like in 2019 or so. I think one of my first calls, or one of my first couple real client calls, I'll say, is with actually Dr. Jody. I think you were setting up your account at that same sort of time that I was probably learning Jane. So we were learning together, and it's really cool to see all of this, this full cycle continue. And here we are today. But if you're wondering otherwise, I mean, I make videos for Jane. If you go on the Jane guide, you can probably hear my voice at some part. I make promo videos, I make tutorial videos, and I'm just a overall Jane lover. And as Dr. Jody says, I'm head geek at Jane, I guess you could call me.
It was more like me walking around the supermarket with my kids in tow and throwing stuff in the cart and be like, how do you do this on this screen? How do you do this on this screen? And Alex, dear Alex, was just so patient with me. So if for those of you who I have not had the pleasure to meet yet, you're going to hear my dog barking in the background because that's just how I roll. And I've been in practice for 23 years. I'm a pediatric and prenatal chiropractor here in New Jersey. And I've used a handful of EHR programs over the years. If you don't know what an EHR program, because you're not yet a Jane user, is an EHR program is kind of like where your schedule meets your client notes, meets your payment area, meets your messaging, meets all of it, meets your money to the insurance company. It's where it all comes together. And there are all kinds of EHR programs out there. And what I have found really important in an EHR program to work for my brain is I can find it on any screen I look at. That's really important. B, that if I make a change to it on my home computer, it will show up as a change to my office computer or my cell phone or my iPad, whatever it is. C, the staff of the EHR program is second to none. And we're going to talk about the staff at Geek Out in a minute. D, I don't have to have a degree in rocket science to know how to use it. And E, if I say to the EHR program, this is a feature that is not working for me, it's a feature that's not working for a lot of my community members, they are on it like a fly on you know what, wanting to make it better. So that's why I love, oh, and of course the price needs to be, I mean, you guys, I've spent like $500 a month on an EHR program, and Jane, I think I pay $99 a month. So in my world, am I frozen?
You're good.
Okay, cool. In my world, I at any given minute in my office, I have kids running around because, as I said, I'm a pediatric chiropractor. My phone is going. People are texting me. People are walking in. I've got 6 people on the table at any given time. I've got a baby in my arms. I've got a 2-year-old pulling on my dress. And by the way, Sally just walked in with, she owes me for the past 5 visits, and she walked in with her in-laws and she wants me to adjust them for free. That's any given minute in my practice. So I need, where I'm putting all of this information and processing all of this information, to be the easy part. And the way it looks in my world is I usually show up like 10, 20 minutes before I start serving my patients. I take a peek at my schedule on the way on my phone, because that's how Jane serves me. I look at my schedule. I say, okay, all of these people are coming in today. I can't wait to serve them. I open up Jane on my desktop. I open up my texting program on my desktop so that I can see my patients that are saying, hey, Jody, I need to come 10 minutes late, whatever it is. And I start serving my people, and I take each person, take my notes. I don't even check them out. Take my notes, check them in, take my notes, check them in, take my notes, check them in, take my notes, okay? I don't bill directly to insurance. I don't do anything like that. I keep it as simple as possible. Then I have a virtual assistant, and she comes into my computer on her side, right? Or she comes into my Jane app account and she checks everybody out for me. I just send her a very clear, confident, compliant message saying, Sally paid me 15 in a check, Janet paid me 30 in cash, and she applies it to each account. And I walk out 10 minutes after my last patient leaves. That's a typical day in my office. I never answer the phone, ever. Everybody reaches out to me in text. The only way that I can possibly do that is by using a program like Jane. So talk to me, Alex, about a typical moment in time of a practitioner, whether you're a chiropractor, a PT, an OT, a therapist, whatever you do. The theme in this group that we're talking to is wellness practitioners who want to serve more, earn more, and work less. Tell me a little bit, share your screen, let's go there.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I've stated that I'm Alex from Jane. I never talked about what Jane actually is. But if you're not familiar with Jane, Jane's an all-in-one practice management software that's going to, essentially the idea is to help you spend more time with your patients and less time on your screen and with your EHR. So, excuse me, everything that we do is based around saving you time, not only on sorry, I think I need some water. Saving you time on not only the aspects of charting, on the aspects of scheduling your patients in, but also on those things of getting the information that you need. To say, if you need an answer on how do I do this in my EHR, Jane is open. We have our support now, actually Monday through Saturday on the phones. You can call us, any given time throughout the day, whether you have to leave a message, whether it's you directly get through to someone, we will help you no matter what. And we'll get you squared away before, you can start thinking, oh, this frustrating software, I can't deal with this technology. But we understand that, not everyone is super formidable with all technology. So we've designed Jane to be, pretty intuitive. And as I share my screen here, we'll come to a schedule state. And this could be, Jane's designed for every sort of discipline that you could use. It's multidisciplinary. Our co-founder, Allie, who basically came up with the ideas behind Jane, she ran a multidisciplinary clinic, and her problem was that, nothing was built for multidisciplinary practices in mind. So we wanted something that was, at a glance, like Dr. Jody said, you can look at your schedule, you can see what's coming up. We have, I don't even have to explain that these are appointments coming up. These are just on your schedule. But maybe let's take a little bit of a deeper dive into it here. So I'll click on, let's say, Dr. Regina Crystal here. And we'll just go on a day view here, just to keep it simple. Or, yeah, this works. Sure. Now, I will say I am on our demo clinic right now. Jane has a demo clinic for both of our Canadian practitioners as well as our US practitioners. So if you have, you want to talk about Canadian insurance, we have a demo clinic that can help you through all the Canadian stuff. If you want to talk about US specific things like CPT codes, billing codes, we also have a team that's dedicated to helping you on that side too. And if you're coming from around the world, we also have people around the world that can also help. So I like to say that too. But as we're looking at Jane here, As Dr. Jody said, we hop onto Jane. We see, okay, at the start of the day, say we're coming in at 8:30 a.m. We don't have anything right away, but we do have this 9 o'clock. We can see that this is an initial assessment due to it being a blue appointment. You can color code all of your different appointments. If you're a visual person, this means that you can, at a very glance, you can see what's an initial assessment, what's a subsequent treatment, all that sort of things. Another important thing is when you click into an appointment, all of the information that you would need is there. So even if you didn't have, your assistant filling in everything for you, if you're purely a solo practitioner, you can also head in and check all of this as you go. Now, before I get ahead of myself here, let me sign in as an actual practitioner, and we will, excuse me, have to find our new demo password, which is green surfboard. And I'll give you an idea of what it looks like when you sign in as a practitioner here. So before we were looking at more of an overall visual of the entire clinic, this being our practitioner, Susan Lowe here, we are looking at her day tab at the top left. And the day tab is going to be a really simple breakdown of your day at a glance. So you can see all of our different appointments here. And then on the right-hand side here, we have some metrics. You can see who are your top patients, your top treatments, your charts, which ones you've signed, which ones you've left in a draft state, maybe which ones you've started. Maybe that means you've arrived in an appointment and haven't actually filled out a chart for them yet. So maybe it's a good idea to check out those. You can also see at a glance, like your ratings
Alex,
and reviews.
can I interrupt?
Yes, please.
Right. So if I was to look at this view while I was with patients,
Yep.
I would get so overwhelmed.
Totally fair.
Can you unclick the dashboard?
Yep, not a problem.
Show me how do I make this screen of who's coming in as big as possible?
Oh yeah, for sure. From the day tab here, this day tab is basically, I'll preface this by saying we want you to be able to do everything on one screen without having to click through multiple things. So if you're looking for everyone at one, straight glance, you want to see the biggest possible view, you could check your day on the schedule tab.
And you guys, wait, let me just say this.
Yeah.
What I do in my office is I keep this tab open. I don't touch it because this is the view. Or the other thing that you can do is just print this page, right?
Yep.
And then you see how Alex has all of these things open up top, because you have to remember, I'm holding a baby, somebody's pulling on my dress, the kid just pooped on the floor, the phone's ringing, Sally's walking in with her 5 family members. All of that, just show me a quick view, show me the flashcard version. And part of why I love Jane so much is they've got flashcards everywhere, right? So
definitely.
To make it easy, and can you just stop share just for 1 second?
Yeah, of course.
Concept. We talk a lot. If you guys don't know, we have an entire academy. It's called Staffless Practice Academy. And we do one-on-one coaching with people. We also do group coaching. We do all kinds of things with practitioners who want to serve more, earn more, and work less. And part of what we talk about over and over and over again is the protection of time, energy, and money. So if you go into your day in practice and you are thinking about, I need to protect my time, I need to protect my energy, and I need to protect my money, but I also need to do that for my practice members. I need to protect their time, energy, and money. How do I set myself up for success with that, right? And one of the ways we set ourselves up for success is you have little things like keep this tab open. Don't make it a rule for yourself and yesterday I had a 4-hour meeting with one of my clients. We had a whiteboard session, like we went there, right? And one of the things that I said to her is, you have a problem, and your problem is that you are saying yes when you want to say no. Every problem has at least one solution. If you can figure out, this is my problem, this is the one solution that really resonates with me in my world at this moment, that's all you have to do. So if the problem is, I need to be able to see my schedule really quickly, one shot, right? Give me the flashcard. The solution is, pin that tab to your desktop. And I want to see even more of those flashcard versions, Alex, as we go through this next hour.
For sure. Can definitely do that. As I share my screen again here, let me pop this back open. So as Jody said, one great idea is, yeah, just keep your schedule open. And on this tab here, you can see it'll update, by day. If you refresh this the next, day, it'll come to June 13th. You can also look through all of them, whatever you like. The one thing I did want to mention, though, with this day tab here, kind of a little fun concept is that since we are on our day tab, we're focusing on just today. This is you don't have to worry about the next week. You don't have to worry about the next things coming up. Let's focus on what's coming up right away. So as we can see on our left-hand side here, we have our little marker saying, oh, it's 10:12 a.m. PST, I will say. But if I click on my appointment here, when I click on that appointment, it's going to pop open the chart entries for this client, which I'm on a demo clinic, so that's maybe why nothing's popping up. But for an example, let's say Anita Cole here on the left. If I click on Anita Cole's appointment, see she's coming out at 1 o'clock, Jane's going to pop me into the chart entries, so I can just start charting right away with one of my chart templates. And I'll get into the chart templates in a second. These are another time-saving tool that we have so that you don't have to, spend your time building out your little parts, building out an individual SOAP note when all you really need is to fill out what's going on at the given moment. The other great thing about this day tab is not only can you see your chart entries, you can also click a second time on these appointments, and it shows you all of the appointment information on the right-hand side. Will allow us to arrive and unarrive an appointment. We can mark them as a no-show and charge them a fee if need be if they don't show up, unfortunately. Or even if we needed to even go in and they maybe take a note about this appointment. Like say Anita Cole is often 5 minutes late. We can type that, and this is a purely admin-based note. We can even star this so that it appears on all of their appointments going forward, that we know that they're often 5 minutes late. And then this going forward, we can hover over Anita Cole's thing here, should show, and then our note shows it's often 5 minutes late. So stuff like that, it makes Jane very intuitive and easy from just a glance sort of view. Again, very visual, very intuitive. Going forward from here, though, if we click out of that appointment tab, we can also just continue with our charting. Like as we're going, things are coming in. We have a baby in our arm. We need our flashcards right away. Maybe this is a subsequent 30-minute visit, 15-minute visit even. We don't need to go too crazy and start a whole new chart. We already have this one from June 11th that maybe this was their last visit. We can go ahead, click on the right-hand side here and duplicate our chart. That way we don't have to go back in and redo all of those individual adjustments that we did. We can come in here. We can maybe take out the worse than pregnant part. We can add in our own things here. Maybe if you wanted to use one of our phrases in Jane, you can use / and then TMJ. Oh, there should be one here. Something should pop up. Excuse me. Maybe it's just I need to refresh. That's unfortunate that didn't work. But
it happens at least 10 times a day to me, Alex. You also talk a little bit. I think one of the best features of Jane is the community. And
yes,
Jane has a Facebook group that's second to none. You can post in the Facebook group, hey guys, I just posted something for a client. They want to learn more about FullScript and how to use FullScript in tandem with Jane. So, and I posted it, and then I had people from all over the world saying, this is what I do. This is what I do. And they're all cool people that I'm like, oh, I want to know you. You sound like a good person, right? So tell us a little bit about the Facebook group.
Definitely. Part of our Jane community is the actual Facebook group, like Dr. Jody's talking about. We have, I believe it's about 11,000 people in the group right now. Without, I can't actually go on Facebook right now on this computer without showing all my own stuff, but give me 2 seconds and I can show you. I don't want to dox myself here, but just give me 2 seconds and I can show you that. Okay, cool. I've got it up now.
I use this at least 3 times a week. And I'll even search stuff from historical stuff where if I'm looking for how to use FullScript with Jane, I can just search FullScript and then I'll see all of these conversations where FullScript, I mean, you guys know how a Facebook group works, but the Facebook group community that Jane has created, I mean, Allie must wake up in the morning and think 11,000 people, really 11,000 people.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
And so as you can see here, we have our Facebook group. There's a ton of different people in here. And you can have, if there's constantly questions, there's people in here that are answering these questions. Like we don't pay these people to answer these questions for you. They really just love Jane, which I have to remind myself that these people aren't working for us often, which I am so appreciative of. Our community is second to none. Not only do we have this Facebook community where you can ask all sorts of questions built into Jane, we've also included things like our template library, which you can go into if you head to any staff tab. You can look up the template library. And for example, if I want to even pull up Dr. Jody's stuff, I can look up SOUP, school intake. We have
You
our
got
nice
all of my intakes, but you just remember I'm a pediatric and prenatal chiropractor,
yes.
but all of my stuff is in there. Go for
Yeah,
it.
for sure. So as I said, yeah, I can head into our chart templates. I can look up SOUP. This will show me all of the things that Dr. Jody has uploaded, like this baby intake up to 24 months, all sorts of fun stuff here. And once I've maybe found something that I like, let's say I'll go back to that baby intake here. I see this, I'm like, yeah, this baby intake would work for me. I can add it to my own account. I then have that template on my own. It's right here. And then I can click edit right beside it. And it's mine to edit. I have the full functionality within Jane to change things, to edit it as much as I like to fit my needs. And that way, when it comes to, say, another baby intake on my own comes in, I can have this ready to go at any given moment that I haven't had to spend more than 2 minutes even looking over and finding, and I have an entire file ready to go.
And then a lot of times people, like one of the questions that comes up is, you guys, it probably took me a good solid 30 hours to feel like I knew Jane, right? Like
Sure.
to feel like I knew what to do. I knew where to go. One of the services that my team offers is we'll build your Jane app account for you. So you just say, Jody, but here's the thing. It can't have one client information in it because it crosses what we call the HIPAA bridge. If you have if you have people in your Jane app account, we can't touch it for you. But if you haven't started, if it's a brand new account, we can build the whole thing for you and we know what questions to ask. And Jane has all of these partners that make your life easier as a Jane app user. So,
oh yeah,
Alex, can you tell us more about some of the flashcard, like see it all at like one of the things I think about is like reoccurring appointments because that's
yeah,
a headache for so many people. Let's go there.
yeah, for sure. Recurring appointments are one of, I will say, Jane was built as a scheduling software from the get-go. So if you haven't ever used Jane to schedule, it's designed to do that. Not only from our online booking site, which I can hop into a little bit later, but even from just the schedule alone for booking things like recurring appointments. For example, I will hop in, let's say, maybe I can use Michael here. It's probably easier. Yeah, let's use Michael. Okay. So we have Pamela Green here. And we have her appointment. This is on July 6th. Great. Or no, that's her next one. This one's on June 12th, excuse me. And from here, if we were looking to book a reoccurring appointment, all we need to do is head down to the booking info section, click on these little two arrows pointing to our right-hand side. I'm pointing to the left on Zoom, but right in my life. And when it comes to booking these reoccurring appointments, Jane's going to say, we're going to have these reoccur on Monday. We'll have these repeat until, let's say, July 12th. That works. Great. And maybe I want them every week, every 2 weeks, whatever it might be. So if I choose every 2 weeks, Jane's going to look into my schedule, take into account the settings that I've put into my schedule. Say I'm in 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. every single Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Jane's going to take that into account, say, hey, here's your Monday next time. Pamela Green has an appointment booked Monday, June 26th already. So if you want to book her another one, you totally can. And it's going to try and book as close to the same time as possible as the previous one. And if that time isn't available, like maybe this one below here, there's a conflict at 2:30. We already have one booked there at 2:30. Jane's going to give us some other times that we could put in instead. So maybe we can just book them at 1 o'clock on that day instead.
Can I stop for a sec? I know that some of you are thinking, when am I going to ever have time to do this? Right? So I just want to show, Alex, I'm going to take over the screen.
Of course. Yeah. Let me stop.
Okay, and then let me go share screen. So we have a couple of different communities in Staffless Practice. We've got this free community where you're watching this training, and then we have a group that's called the Joy-Filled Practice Club. And our club members get what's called the closet. And the closet has all these documents that make the life of the Staffless practitioner easy. Right now, by the way, this is just a commercial. By the way, if you want a free access to the club, just drop free access in the comments and I'll get you in for free. So one of the things that we give you in the closet is I don't have time to go into Jane and schedule people during an adjusting shift. I can't do it. There's too much happening. And I have chosen for so many reasons not to have staff in my office, right? So what I do is, this is like a quick form. You make it protect time, energy, money, right? You make it as often as you can so that the practice member can do the admin work that needs to be done to get their care on your schedule. Okay, so Sally will say, hey, Jody, I don't have any visits scheduled. And I'll say, hey, Sally, no problem. Can you just go over there to the client center? There's a client center in my office that has a stack of these papers, right? And I'll say, Sally, go ahead and grab a schedule form. And she'll say, okay, I want you to schedule me on Mondays in the mid-morning and on Tuesdays in the late afternoon. And I even give you guys like a video on how to use this. So it looks like Sally needs to schedule. I don't have time to schedule her. Sally will go fill this form out. I'll send a picture of this form to my VA. Sally needs to pay. I don't have time to charge her card. Sally fills out a payment sheet, and we do it in a compliant way to do it. Sally's credit card is already in Jane. Jane holds Sally's credit card in it. Sally's credit card goes into Jane before I even have my first visit with her. Otherwise, I'm not protecting my time, energy, and money. You guys get it? So figure out that there's a problem, and the problem is Sally needs to schedule and I don't have time to schedule her during a shift. The solution to protect time, energy, money is that I hand her this sheet. I send this sheet over to my VA and my VA does what Alex just showed you. Do you know this is a new thing? Every time I raise my hand and I'm in a Zoom raises my, isn't that creepy? Okay, I'm done on that part. Go for it, Alex.
That's a great segue. Actually, yeah, I just had to turn that feature off because I talk with my hands, as you can probably tell, and all the time I'd have like thumbs up and stuff. So I don't know, not always the most appropriate, but let me share my screen again and we'll hop back into Jane here. And as Dr. Jody was saying, you don't want to have to spend all your time scheduling people all the time.
And maybe I want them every week, every 2 weeks.
Sorry, Jody, I could just hear myself. Excuse me.
maybe I.
Yeah.
We're good.
As much as I love hearing my own voice, it's only so much. Okay. As I was saying, sorry, you don't want to have to hop into your schedule and go over all of the different appointments that you need to schedule every single time. So why don't we put that onus on the patient to schedule? And with Jane, we also offer online booking. So if you head into Jane, like I said here, we can go onto our schedule. And all we have to really do to make this work is say, I'm Keith here. Not the greatest example. Maybe I'm trying to find a good example here. Again, this is a live site, so people change things all the time. So we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants here. But as I said, all you have to do in Jane is simply set which times that you're going to be in the office. So in this example, Michael Carroll's going to be here from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. He set another shift here from 12 till 8. Long day, very long day. I don't suggest that myself. But also, I mean, as you can see, 12 to 8, 12 to 8. So when that comes to the online booking site, if I head over here, and again, I will say, anytime you sign up for Jane, we give you your own booking link at the very top here. So you'll have ours is demo-usa.janeapp.com. But this would be, something else like yourclinicname.janeapp.com. And as I do that, perfect. We get a fuller screen here.
Keep going, Alex.
Yeah, for sure. As we continue on, so this is our first screen. We have multiple locations at our demo clinic, but if you only had one, it would more so look like this. And again, we're a multidisciplinary demo clinic, as Jane is built for that. But again, if you only had the one discipline, you'd be able to show, let's say, maybe we want to book with Michael Carroll here. That works. So we can see we have a naturopathic medicine. We have a nice little write-up about what naturopathic medicine can do for you. We have our different treatments that you can book, or if you want to book with a specific practitioner, you can also do that on the right-hand side here too. But say, let's book a new patient visit with Michael. We can then see on Michael's schedule here, here's the times that he has available. We don't have to go in and tell all or give the options to our clients. Jane's going to do that for us. And again, if those don't work for them, they can head to the next week. They can look at another 7 days. And you can also limit this so that people can't book 6 months ahead so that, your vacation in December is ruined. You can also set that they can only see maybe 3 months ahead, 2 months ahead.
Let me just say something, Alex. I'm going to jump in. So in my world, just stop.
Oh, yeah, of course. Sorry.
In my world, I can't even book people out 2 weeks in advance.
Fair enough.
I'm doing all of this book signing and traveling and all of these things. I go and I visit my clients. I'll sit and watch them serve their patients and write up a full report. So I'm traveling. I'm all over the place. So when somebody joins my practice, what I say to them is, Sally, I'm going to send you a text every Sunday with this week's office hours. So because Jane has the flexibility to change the shifts around so often, I literally have a moving schedule. I commit to being there the next 7 days, but my schedule changes every week. So the way that we do it in the Staffless Practice world is I'll send a text out to my whole practice in a compliant way. Mm-hmm. And I'll say, hey guys, this week at Light Source Chiropractic, adjusting hours are da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Text us back if you need a spot or see Jane. And then I have my Jane link. The other thing that you can do is you can send a QR code via email. There are so many ways that you can do this to work for your practice. Some of the client that I was with yesterday, she'd have a panic attack at the thought of not scheduling out 3 months in advance. I would have a panic attack at the thought of scheduling out 3. So one of the most beautiful things about this program is the ability to be flexible, whatever that means to you. And, Godspeed to people who have panic attacks. I'm not making light of that, you guys. I have experienced that. Please don't take that the wrong way, because these are the things that we have to say now. Okay, back to you, Alex.
Totally fair. Totally fair. And I like to mention, like Jody said, Jane is designed to be as flexible as it can be for you. Not if your practice doesn't work the exact same as Dr. Jody's, don't worry. You can call us, explain what you need, explain what your existing practice is. If you're not on an EHR already, totally fair. We've transitioned so many clinics from just their paper, calendar based, stuff like that into Jane. And if anyone else can do it, you can do it too. But yeah, like Jody was saying, it's extremely flexible. When it comes to booking, it's as simple as clicking on a button, saying I'm done, and then filling out your the client's information. And sorry, this is from the client side, I will say. And as they enter in their required stuff, we'll put in a fake phone number here. That should work. Another home phone number here. Again, that's fine. Of course, it's not valid. That's great. That's okay. But as you can probably tell here, as we book the appointment, they'll say, yes, you've booked the appointment and we're good to go. As for, I'm not exactly sure why. I can put in my own here.
Alex went to a wedding for a little bit too long yesterday.
Yeah, guys, I've been all sorts of up in the air the last bit.
Me and Alex were talking before we started, and he's in his 20s and I'm approaching 50, and he's like, all my friends are getting married, and I'm like, all my friends are retiring. Everybody has a different phase, and it can take over. So
there we go.
I also want to say that if you don't yet have Jane and you're one of our people, be sure to mention Staffless Practice when you get in, because they hook you guys up. And B, don't put one client in, because as soon as you put one client in, we can't look at your Jane app account for you yet.
Yep.
So show us what we've got here.
Yes. So as now I've booked the appointment, our client is saying, yes, we booked these 2 appointments. Well, wasn't supposed to book 2, but as you saw me there kind of clicking around and stuff, I ended up booking 2. That's okay. That doesn't typically happen, but once we've booked
I
them
was
in,
just asking, can you book multiple appointments in one time block? So there you
yeah,
go.
as you can. And it'll also mention, if I go back here and say, go back, that's okay. Say I book this 3:30. I can always choose to book more. It'll save this 3:30 for the next 10 minutes or so. And so I can book this 1 o'clock or whatever it might be. Say 3:30 here, book more, 12 o'clock, I'm done. And we booked both those. So
I
as I,
I do it in 5-minute increments. Like because I have an open adjusting room, I see 6 people at one time. So I put people in 5 minutes, like I'll have one person at 5, one person at 5:05, one person at 5:10. And of course they're there for like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, but I'm starting one person every 5 minutes. So it's
yeah,
like not everybody comes in at one time.
yeah, totally. Also, again, a workflow that we've been able to work into Jane as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I think you might have told me to do it that way.
Maybe. I think so. So as your appointment or as a client's appointment is now booked, we've ensured that they've got their times and stuff here. They now have an account with your clinic, so they can come on to ours is again demo-usa.janeapp.com, and they can see what appointments they have. They can help fill out their reason for their visit, like maybe my back hurts or something as simple as knees are weak or something. I don't know. Anything works. And you can save this reason, and that's going to show up as a note on the appointment so that when you glance on your schedule, you can see that demo owner's coming in for his knees or his back. Further down below, we also have the option to get ready for your treatment by reviewing these items. This one would be able to let them opt in for automatic SMS or email reminders before their appointment. You can also set these to be required so they don't even have to opt in. This one's
if
just...
you guys do that, I have to interrupt.
Yes.
This is important. If you do that, until Jane has a back and forth texting program, if you're following my lead and you never want to have to answer your office phone again, ever, you're going to have another texting program. That program needs to be compliant. And that program should be simple. It shouldn't do 50 million things because you're going to get overwhelmed and then you're going to not use it, right? You want to tell your people if you've checked that box or they've checked that box, there are going to be 2 numbers that are going to text you. And this can all be in your initial consultation. Hey, welcome to Sally's practice or whatever it's called, right? You're going to see 2 texts coming from us. One is for appointment reminders and the other is for any admin needs that you could possibly have. Text our number. I'm telling you guys, implementing a rock solid texting program will save you so much time and so much heartache so that you don't have to listen to all of the stories without being in fair exchange, time, energy, money. Okay, keep going.
Again, totally fair. And I like to mention that you can put those notifications of saying, hey, there's going to be more, you need another number that we can text or that you're receiving a text from. And you can put that even in things like your intake form. Okay. So when a appointment is booked and Jane's going to notice if an intake form is filled out. And again, if you set like an expiry date or something like that, you can always have these refreshed going forward. But once Jane checks an intake form is not filled out for this appointment, she's going to say, hey, this person needs an intake form. Please fill this intake form out. And if you set these up in Jane, perfect. You can fill them out before they even arrive to their appointment. So you have all of their first name, their information, if they have a preferred name, if they have different pronouns that they want, like they, them, theirs, or a different prefix or title, they can fill all of that information out themselves so that you don't have to worry when it comes to the actual day, what to call them, what to refer to them as, how to, approach them, that sort of thing. And that way you also have their phone numbers, their street address, all of this stuff.
So can we stop share?
Yes.
And you guys, just a reminder, if you have questions and you're with me live, just drop them in the Facebook post. I'm keeping an eye on it. So, okay, I'm switching gears. I'm going into telehealth.
Let's switch.
Okay. I talked earlier about the Joy-Filled Practice Club, and that's our paid for group. It's $89 a month, but right now it's free. If you want access to it, just drop the comment free access. And last week we went really deep into the telehealth. The telehealth, remember, time, energy, money, that's what we're protecting, right? The telehealth session with a client, independent of what kind of care you do, it's a very healthy, very solid first step. If you don't have staff, or if you have staff who only shows up to do what they're great at doing, right? This is going to make sure that A, the people who are reaching out to you are looking for what you have to offer. And B, this isn't somebody who's going to come in with like Jack Daniels in their back pocket and their whatever. Like, you just never know who's walking into your office. The telehealth session that Jane offers, it can be done for free. You can charge for it, whatever it is. It's such a beautiful first step. And the course of the telehealth is in the Joy-Filled Practice Club. So come on over there to get that. The other thing I'm going to say is, if you search the templates in Jane for SEWP, you're going to see my telehealth form. One of the things I wanted to detail last week on is, what do you have in front of you when you do a telehealth? What are the things that you need to say, you need to hear, you need to promise, you need to agree on with your new practice members to protect time, energy, money? So can you tell us a little bit about the telehealth? I know that there are new things coming up with it.
Yeah.
Hear about it.
I'd love to, for sure. Let's hop over here. I'm just setting up my little screen share here, so I can show you that green surfboard again for our
I'm
password.
talking really fast because I'm fasting and I have a lot of caffeine in my body right now. So you guys, if I'm pulling a Jersey Jody on you, I'm really sorry. Woo!
I like that. We have Jersey Jody here today. I like that. Okay. So telehealth in Jane. Yes. Great question and great topic. Telehealth in Jane has been implemented since 2020 at this point. So it's been not only implemented, but it's also been iterated on, and we've worked and worked and worked to make it the best possible, and also easiest that it can be. So to give you a kind of idea of what an online appointment would look like in Jane, let me just make sure. I'll actually just book an appointment. That's okay. Why? Okay, Jane is really making me work today for my for everything. Let me book a shift here. We'll just make this easy for me. Book a
You go
shift.
see, it's so amazing how quickly you can navigate through this.
Yeah. So as you can see, Jane wasn't allowing me to book outside of a shift. So let's just create one. No
Which is
problem.
what-
Click on.
That's what you want. You want it to not allow you to book.
Exactly. Yeah. So when it comes to our telehealth in Jane, I'll actually switch this to a day. We have our different session types. So if you set up an online video session, it'll have this little video camera beside it, indicating that's going to be a telehealth session. So I'll click on the little magnifying glass beside it. Jane's going to then say, here's all the times that you can book in an online video session within your shifts. I'll click on that little time, and let's book in, say, Bob Smith. Should be in here. Oh, he's not. That's in a different one. Let's say we'll book in Herbert Woods. Love that name. And as I'm booking him in, I'm also saving his previous insurance policy to save myself time. I'm booking the appointment. We're good to go. So as we now have our online video session booked in, you can, again, notify that by seeing this is an online only appointment with a little video camera. Herbert will receive an email an hour before his session saying, hey, you have an online appointment at 10:40 with Dr. Maya Lopez Chapman. She'll be arrive. You can test your stuff beforehand. You can test your camera, make sure your mic is working, all of that fun stuff. And all it really is for clients is 2 clicks. They just need to click one thing in their email, one thing when they're in Jane, and then they'll be in the session. That easy. When it comes to your end as a provider, we'll click on our appointment here. And then again, an hour before the appointment begins, you'll have the option to begin the appointment. And as I share this, I just need to unshare my screen so that you can see this now. And now you can see me in the telehealth call. And I'm just waiting now for anyone to sort of join in. And right here, I can wave, I can turn my camera off if need be, whatever it might be. And all of this works directly in Jane. It's powered by Zoom, so you can have the same functionalities as Zoom with all that fun stuff. And it's entirely HIPAA compliant. So everything that you say in here, none of it's recorded. None of it is, going to be like broadcasted elsewhere. It's a peer-to-peer connection that is completely HIPAA compliant, completely FIPA compliant, PIPEDA compliant, wherever you might be. So
I'm
we've
going to
thought of
tell
all the
you
regulations.
guys, here's the thing, okay? Whenever you have, can we stop share for a second?
Yeah. Sorry, I was just about to.
Whenever we have a task that needs to happen, there are 4 things that can be done with that task, 4 possibilities. 1, you just do it. 2, you cross it off the list because it really doesn't need to be done. 3, you delegate it. And 4, you automate it. Those are the options for any task, okay? The healthiest thing that we can do is to figure out what we can automate that's appropriate to automate. This is the biggest mistake I see happen in the Staffless Practice community. People automate stuff that should not be automated. So one of the steps that I like to see our people do, our practitioners all over the world do, is before, I promise you, you're going to have people in your practice who can't figure out how to do a telehealth, even if you say, first do this, then do this, because they're either not going to, the dog's going to eat their homework, right? They're either not going to open the email ahead of time, whatever it is. You will always have that happen. So I want you to keep in mind the idea of sending an email out followed up with a text out. That's what we call 2 birds, 1 stone. You send the email, you follow up with a text, and you say, hey, it's Dr. Jody. I can't wait to meet with you today. It's a recording already done. We're going to send you a link to your telehealth. Here's what you're going to do with it. There are some people that need to visually watch you walk through it. There are some people that just need to read the bullet points. And there are some people that aren't going to read any of it at all. I promise you with the telehealth, maybe 1 or 2 out of 10 people for the life of them won't be able to figure out how to do a telehealth. You have to prepare yourself with an exception to that rule. Is that fair?
Totally fair. Totally
Okay,
fair.
well, good. And back to you, Alex.
Yeah, and I like to actually mention that not only have we put a lot of work and effort into our telehealth for when it comes to your end as a practitioner, kind of accepting your clients, but also on the client's end, we know that these things happen, like questions happen all the time. How do I join my appointment? It was a constant thing when we first implemented Jane, of that it sometimes it wouldn't, you wouldn't connect. That those things are few and far between now. We don't have so many. And also, if anyone ever searches up "can't join telehealth Jane," this guide will come up that we've already written that goes over it. We have a nice video on how to join your online appointment from a client's perspective, what it looks like on their end, just clicking on this begin your online appointment, and then just signing into their account. And so not only are we focused around making guides for all of our Jane users, but also the people who are using Jane at your clinics, so that, again, you don't have to spend that time on the phone between calls, between appointments, trying to help these your clients out that maybe can't join these things or can't operate Jane. We've also thought of that. We figured it out. We've written a whole entire guide. If there's any question that you pretty much have in Jane, if we've been asked that question, we've written a guide on it. So,
and Karen's asking the question, do they get text notified? Any appointment, they're going to get a text notification. Yes. Set it up that way.
Yeah, exactly. You can set up as, and I will say also, all of our SMS and email reminders in Jane are entirely free. They're included in your account. You can send as many as you want. I know for some of the clinics I go to, I think I showed up late maybe once. Unfortunately, I hate to represent Jane and show up late, but after I think one late show up, they started adding me to another one where I get a text message a day before, I get a text message 2 hours before, I get an email 2 days before as well, okay, stating, hey, here you have an appointment at this time, this given time. And if you need to change anything, you can also change that as well. So
you made it to their Slacker list.
Yeah, exactly. I unfortunately made it to the Slacker list.
But if you think about the doctor or the company that creates that system, what are they doing? They're protecting their time, energy, money. They're doing the same thing that we're talking about.
It's completely fair. And I will say, I haven't showed up late since.
Right, that's right. So because you put the reminder in front of you. It's a solution. I love it.
Exactly. Yeah. And like we've said, we've been around for been around the block for a good while now, about 11 years. So we've dealt with a whole ton of different situations, scenarios, and we've tried to make Jane as robust as possible to deal with all these situations all at once. So if you have a question, if you have maybe a specific question for you or to your clinic, you can always give us a call and ask that directly too. So I like to just mention that.
I love it.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about like the new and exciting features coming out. I know
as I just stopped sharing my screen, I want to share that again. One of the biggest new and exciting features, and which is a great segue from telehealth, as this is our biggest thing that we've released since we last talked, probably, is group counseling or online appointments for groups. And this is also one of our first add-on features to Jane, I will say. So if you head over to our pricing, you can kind of see over here that these are our base plans, our insurance plans, that sort of thing. And if you head down to our bottom here, we now have the optional add-on for online appointments for groups. And I will say that all of telehealth, all one-on-one appointments, telehealth appointments in Jane are entirely included in this above priced plan. But if you were looking to do online appointments for groups and families, like maybe you want to have 2 people, joining a single session, you can also do that in Jane here, and up to 12 people, I think, in one call, which you could even just have a meeting with all your friends if you really wanted. It's a little bit of an extra cost per practitioner per month, but
Give us some details on when would this be used? When would I use this as a chiropractor?
Yeah. Well, this as a chiropractor, whether it's for like a whole bunch of family joining from different areas of the maybe it's 2 parents that are helping one of their kids, they're not together anymore.
Another doctor or provider.
Yeah, exactly. If you wanted, exactly, another provider, you can provide them a link as well. This just basically gives you the ability to have more people on a call at any given time, and just be able to all coordinate it directly through Jane. It's very simple when it comes to it on the actual schedule. When it comes to the group counseling, I book in a group counseling session. I choose, hey, okay, who's my main participant here? Who's going to be basically the primary contact is what we call it, the primary patient.
Who's
and again,
throwing the party?
We'll use Herbert Woods again. He's throwing the party today. And maybe we also have Selena's coming here. We also have, who else? Corey Daniels is also showing up, right? So as you can see in Jane now, I have my group counseling session booked. We have Herbert Woods, the primary patient or participant, I'll say. And then we also have our 2 other ones. And each individual one has their own appointment for this. So when it comes to Herbert, he's going to be responsible for all of the payment, all of the account owing, all that fun stuff that the others don't get to handle. But that's okay. And when we arrive the appointment, each one gets arrived, but maybe Corey Daniels didn't show up. I can also mark him as unarrived or like as a no-show or something like that too. So it gives you the flexibility, again, of showing who comes into which appointment, all of that fun stuff. And again, Jane automates you sending one telehealth link to all of these different people in a HIPAA, PIPEDA, and FIPA compliant way. So another just really easy, sort of simple way to approach group appointments. Yeah, that's again, it's hard to display without having multiple other people on the line ready to connect to this call for you. But as I like to say, it's basically any call that you would have with multiple different people and you want to do it in a completely safe and private way, Jane's got your back on that. So
what else are you like over the moon about right now over at Jane?
There's a ton. Honestly, the biggest thing for me, this is really little actually, but I really love it, is if we have onto our staff today here, you can see that we just recently implemented some different colors for our appointments here. You can see that these ones are green, saying that, hey, this person has arrived to their appointment. But you will see here that on these other ones, these darker green ones, that there's a little, dollar sign. That just indicates that this person's paid. They've paid, and basically now we've marked all of these paid ones as darker so that you can at a glance, again, very visual, very intuitive.
Let's go there for a second.
Yes.
So one of the things that we are doing in the club is we're doing a brand, we're calling it a make and take. Like brand kit, you make
Oh,
your fonts, you make your logo, you make all the things, and then you make 6 weeks worth of Facebook posts,
cool.
totally free for club members. So can you talk a little bit about, once you've been in the club and you created your brand kit, how do you apply your brand kit to Jane? This
That's an
is
awesome question, because I love this part of Jane.
Yeah,
Again,
me
I'm a creative visual person, so when it comes to it, I'm just gonna sign in as you're getting a live demo here of basically permissions as well. I have to sign into a separate account so that I can actually change these things in Jane. The other practitioners have lower permissions, so they can't change these things. But when it comes to branding in Jane, I'll sign in as our account owner. I'll head into the settings tab and into the branding section. And from here, the two most apparent ones are this theme color. So we can choose our primary color. Right now we have Jane Blue, but you can choose from any of these, color palettes here. Maybe.
Guys, you see, can you go back to that, Alex?
Yeah.
See, wait, go back to the
Oh,
green.
yeah. Here.
You see the number there? That's called a hex code.
Yeah.
So one of the things we're going to do in the make and take is we're going to discover what your hex codes are. I beg of you to memorize your hex code. Mine F137A9. And you'll see, like, if you do F137A9.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll see my hot pink, and it's on everything. The hot pink is everywhere. If you've seen the hot, there it is,
There
right?
it is.
That's my Staffless Practice color. So figure out what your hex code is, and there are all kinds of ways we're going to do this together in the make and take.
Yeah, I like to mention here. So as you can see, Jody was mentioning that she likes things that update in real time. Again, Jane's live on the cloud at all given times. So if you have a connection, you're good to go. You can use Jane. I'm on my online booking site right now. It's blue. Yeah. I'll save our colors. I'll go over to my online booking site and I'll refresh. And boom. Now we're Staffless Practice, Jane.
And then we have, there's one of our partners who is also a partner of Jane, and he'll actually build you a website. It's like, you guys, it's like stupid cheap, right? And it's like maybe $30 a month or something, based on however you're setting all of these things up in Jane. It will just duplicate to your new website because you're linked up with his stuff. Really cool. What's Handsome Sherbert?
Oh, it's just a plugin I have. It just shows me a nice little animal. That's why. Some dopamine throughout my day. I wanted to mention that Dr. Jody was talking about clinic sites here. They're a integration that we are, or partner with Jane, that we work very closely with. That again, you can sign up for clinic sites here, start a site, build your entire site separate from your Jane one, but allow you to basically copy over everything that you have in Jane, import it into clinic sites, and build your own site in a similar way that you do to building a chart template in Jane.
And if you guys are like, I don't have time to brush my teeth, are you kidding? We can do all of what he just said for you.
Yes, exactly. And again, it's super intuitive, and these people are lovely. We wouldn't work with them if they weren't lovely people. So they have support as well. They can always help you through whatever you might need to. So give them a call, give us a call. We're always happy to help. We just like to talk to people.
Talk to us about, like, some of the people that hire us, I love them so much. They have like drawers full behind them with papers falling out.
Yeah.
You've got a stack of files like this high of patient files with the paper and the notes. I'm like, hey, can you just look at your appointment for the next 2 weeks and tell me if we can meet? They're gonna start going like this, and they're going through their appointment book,
Licking the thumb, and
they're taking the pencil that has like bite marks all over it.
Yep.
And they're like, let me just pencil it in, right? So for those people, how do they start with something like Jane?
Yeah, great question. What I like to mention here is that if you're totally based in paper, that's fine. That's a great starting point. I highly suggest booking a demo with Jane, seeing what you can accomplish with Jane in a live kind of talk. I will say, though, that we also have an imports team dedicated to getting all of your information into Jane. So after you go through Staffless Practice, after Dr. Jody's team sets up your entire things, before you have any clients or anything in there, if you have even just an Excel spreadsheet of all of your clients, you can send that to our imports team. They can import it into Jane, and then you'll have all of your clients right away. You can also send over documents. If you have a different EHR, you can get all of your information from that EHR. our imports team will get it into Jane, no problem. We even have guides like, say, if I head to, like, maybe I'm coming from Simple Practice or something. Importing from Simple Practice. We have all sorts of guides on how to get your information off of your current EHR or even from paper into Jane. And
then the next thing that I hear people say is, I don't even have time to do that. And again, what I'm saying to you is, if you need help with this stuff, I have the best team on the planet, because I'm the person who can't have a team. I literally wrote the book Staffless. I literally run the school. So when I had a problem, the problem was, I want to grow Staffless Practice Academy because I want to give solutions to practitioners all over the world. The solution was, you have to learn how to be a great team leader and how to hire the right people for the right jobs. So boy, oh boy, do we have the right team for the right people for the right jobs. Alex, here comes the question. You ready? If
Please.
a doctor or a massage therapist or an herbologist or an acupuncturist, whatever, if they were to say, hey, Alex, I hear about Dr. Jody and the whole Staffless Practice groove, I'm just not quite sure. What would you say?
Oh, I would say, what aren't you sure about? You've seen the Facebook Lives. Dr. Jody is probably one of the hardest working people I know when it comes to not only providing excellent content, excellent support, excellent like talks, even just talking to you is fun. It's enjoyable. It's the energy you bring, like everything about Dr. Jody is so on brand with Jane that it's hard not to feel this connection that we have. Like it feels like we work together at times. Not only do we do these sessions together, but like it feels like you're not only a friend, but also a colleague, a mentor that I can learn from, that I think anyone can learn from. And also the stuff that you do it's based around making you more money. It's based around saving you time. Who doesn't want that? And again, from someone who's spent so much time, who's done the work, has given you the product and the resources, I couldn't say there's anyone better than Dr. Jody at this.
You rock my world, Alex. And the cool thing is that it's not about me, you guys. Like I'm not the product of Staffless Practice Academy. I just want to show you something because this is super relevant to what we're talking about. Okay. So when we have a new client start with us, they get what's called a scale board. And the scale board is our entire school. Okay. And these are all of our courses. So we've got like the practice space kit, the time kit, the texting kit, the email kit, reflection, how to do an SOP, practice checklist, which has a lot of Jane stuff in it, practice stats, the tech kit, which has Jane in it. This is all practice growth stuff. And all of our classes are attached to this Monday.com board. So I'm telling you, there is nothing we haven't thought of, including who we include in our partnership. And having Jane as a partner, I mean, you guys were one of the first communities that said yes to me when I had this idea, and I'm forever indebted. So thank you for your time, my friend. And we will have a fall Geek Out with Alex coming to a screen near you soon.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And we'll have some new features. We'll have some new fun stuff. I won't be so, dead from weddings and all that. So hopefully we'll be all good to go. I'll see you in the fall.
Okay, you guys, we're done recording. I am loving you from here. Alex, thank you so much for your time today. And, anybody have questions, just hit me up. You know where to find me. And Alex, I'll send you an email shortly for our fall day.
Please do. And of course, reach out to us at Jane if you have any questions. We love to talk to you guys. So, okay, see you.